Your dog just froze in the middle of the hallway, staring at absolutely nothing. Their ears are locked forward, body rigid, eyes fixed on empty space. You look where they're looking and see nothing but air. You call their name, but they don't move. They're transfixed by something that doesn't exist in your world. But here's what keeps you up at night. What if it does exist, and you're just too blind to see it? Right now, your dog is experiencing a reality that's completely invisible to you. They're detecting lights you can't see, hearing sounds that don't register in your ears, feeling vibrations that pass right through your body without notice. The world your dog lives in is so dramatically different from yours that it might as well be a different dimension. And the scariest part? They're reacting to things happening all around you that you have absolutely no awareness of. What if that empty corner isn't actually empty? What if the silence you hear is actually screaming with noise? What if your dog knows something about your environment that you desperately need to know but can't access? I've spent years researching canine sensory abilities, working with veterinarians, animal behaviorists, and neuroscientists to understand exactly what dogs perceive that humans miss completely. And what I discovered will fundamentally change how you see your dog's bizarre behaviors. By the end of this video, you'll understand why your dog acts strange in ways that seemed paranormal before but now make perfect, scientific sense. We're about to reveal 14 sensory superpowers your dog uses every single day that you don't even know exist. And number 1 is so unsettling that it'll make you question everything you thought you knew about the invisible world around you. Let's start with something happening right now under your dog's feet that you're completely oblivious to. The earth itself is speaking to your dog in a language you'll never understand. Your dog can sense the planet's magnetic field like they have a built-in compass wired directly into their brain. You've probably seen it yourself without realizing what you are watching. Your dog circles before lying down or spins around before doing their business. You thought they were being picky or quirky, but researchers discovered something remarkable. Dogs align themselves with Earth's magnetic poles. They prefer positioning themselves on a north-south axis. This isn't random behavior. This is your dog tuning into invisible forces that flow through the planet constantly. That magnetic sense explains how lost dogs find their way home from hundreds of miles away. They're navigating using the Earth's magnetic field like a GPS system you can't access. While you rely on street signs and landmarks, your dog is reading invisible lines of force. When your dog pauses during a walk and seems to recalibrate, they're consulting a navigation system that's been guiding animals for millions of years. Now let's talk about what your dog sees when the lights go out. You stumble around in darkness, bumping into furniture, completely blind. Your dog walks confidently through pitch-black rooms like they're lit up. The secret is a mirror-like structure behind their retinas called the tapetum lucidum. It reflects light back through the eye, giving them a second chance to capture photons you already missed. Their eyes are packed with rod cells that detect motion in low light. They have exponentially more rods than you do. That shadow flickering at the edge of your vision? Your dog saw it clearly. The tiny mouse darting across the yard at dusk? Your dog tracked every movement. This is why your dog navigates a completely dark house without hesitation while you're shuffling carefully. They're actually seeing things illuminated by light levels that are useless to your eyes. But night vision is just the beginning. There's an entire spectrum of light hitting everything around you that's invisible to human eyes, but blazing bright for your dog. Dogs can see ultraviolet light. For decades, people believed dogs only saw in black and white. That was wrong. Dogs see an entire range of light that doesn't exist in your visual reality. Every surface around you is covered in UV patterns, screaming information at your dog while looking blank to you. Flowers that look solid-colored display intricate UV patterns. Your dog sees those patterns. That spot on your carpet that looks perfectly clean might be blazing with UV-reactive residue from old stains or cleaning products. Your dog sees it like a neon sign. This is why your dog sometimes stops and intensely sniffs a spot on the sidewalk that looks unremarkable to you. To them, it's glowing with information. Another dog urinated there weeks ago, and the UV-reactive compounds are still visible. Your freshly laundered clothes are covered in UV bright residue from detergents. The world you see is a simplified version of what actually exists. While you hear silence, your dog is drowning in noise. Dogs hear sounds and frequencies so high they don't exist in your auditory reality. Humans hear up to about 20,000 hertz. Dogs hear up to 45,000 hertz or higher. That's more than double your range. To you, the room is quiet. To your dog, there's a symphony of high-pitched sounds filling the air. The electronic hum of your phone charger emits ultrasonic frequencies. Your dog hears it. The refrigerator, television, and computer are all screaming at pitches you can't detect. That mouse scratching inside your wall? You hear nothing. Your dog hears it clearly. The dog whistle that's silent to you? To your dog, it's a piercing shriek. This explains bizarre behaviors. They suddenly perk up, staring intently at nothing you can identify. But they're hearing something that's definitely there, just beyond your limited range. But high-frequency sounds aren't the only auditory superpower. They also hear infrasound, rumbling frequencies below 20 Hz that are completely inaudible to humans. These sounds travel enormous distances and signal massive environmental changes. Earthquakes generate infrasound before the shaking starts. Thunderstorms create deep rumbles long before the first lightning strike. Hurricanes and tornadoes produce infrasound that radiates for hundreds of miles. Your dog hears these warnings while you're completely unaware. This is why dogs act anxious before storms when the sky looks clear. They're hearing the storm approaching from miles away. This is why some dogs have saved families by acting panicked minutes before an earthquake. They heard the earth groaning while humans felt nothing. When your dog suddenly gets nervous for no apparent reason, they might be hearing environmental warnings your ears are too limited to detect. Dogs sense barometric pressure shifts with remarkable precision. When a storm moves in, air pressure drops. You might feel slightly off, but your dog experiences this dramatically. Their bodies react to pressure changes the way yours reacts to temperature. This ability comes from wild ancestors who needed shelter before storms arrived. When they start pacing, whining, or hiding while weather looks fine, they're reading atmospheric pressure changes you can't feel. They know the storm is coming before clouds appear. Your television screen looks smooth to you because your brain stitches together flickering images. Your dog doesn't have that limitation. Dogs process visual information faster. Where you see smooth video, your dog sees rapidly flickering still images. It's like watching a strobe light. Some dogs find this fascinating and watch screens intently. Others find it annoying and refuse to look. When your dog tilts their head at the television or seems confused by screens, they're seeing something fundamentally different. You experience the world through sight and sound. Your dog experiences it through vibrations. The ground beneath their paws constantly transmits information. Footsteps create vibrations through floors. Cars send tremors through pavement. This is why your dog bolts to the door before you hear a knock. They felt vibrations of someone approaching. This is why they know you're coming home before your car enters the driveway. They feel the specific vibration pattern of your vehicle memorized over hundreds of arrivals. Your dog stares at a blank wall, completely fixated, maybe growling. You see nothing. But your dog is locked onto something with certainty. Often, it's something living inside your walls. Dogs hear tiny movements from insects and rodents in spaces you can't access. A mouse moving through insulation sounds loud to your dog. A termite chewing wood registers clearly. What looks like staring at nothing is actually tracking a creature you don't know exists. When your dog becomes fixated on a spot or barks at the ceiling, they're alerting you to something hidden from your senses. Your dog can detect heat with their nose. Scientists discovered dogs sense tiny temperature variations, almost like infrared vision through smell. This comes from ancestors who tracked warm-blooded prey in darkness. For your dog today, they detect warmth radiating from people and animals. Dogs detect changes in your body temperature. When you're sick, your temperature shifts slightly. Your dog senses that change and stays close, monitoring your health through temperature detection. But heat detection is just one way your dog reads your body. They're constantly analyzing your chemical signature. Your emotions create chemical changes. When you're stressed, afraid, or sad, your body releases different compounds through skin and breath. Your dog has 300 million scent receptors. You have 6 million. That's an entirely different sensory reality. Your dog smells your emotions as clearly as you see colors. When you're anxious, your sweat changes composition. Your dog smells it instantly. This is why therapy dogs work, why your dog knows you're upset before you say a word. But it goes further. Dogs detect illness, pregnancy, and even certain cancers through scent. There are documented cases of dogs repeatedly sniffing one spot where cancer was later discovered. The dog smelled biochemical changes medical tests hadn't detected yet. Your dog can hear your heartbeat. When your dog rests their head against you, they're listening to your heart rhythm. That steady sound deeply comforts them because it confirms you're alive and safe. You think your dog is cuddling. They're listening to the most fundamental sound of your life. They hear heart rate changes. When you're anxious, your heart speeds up. Your dog hears it. They're monitoring your physical state through sound. Your dog reads your body language with frightening accuracy. You think you're unpredictable, but to your dog, you're an open book. They track micro movements you don't realize you're making. The way you shift weight before standing, the direction your eyes glance, the subtle posture change. This is why they run to the door before you say walk. You already gave them 50 nonverbal cues. Your hand moved toward shoes. Your eyes glanced at the leash. Your body shifted toward the door. They read emotions you try to hide. Your breathing changes when upset. Your facial muscles tighten. While you hide these from other humans, you can't hide them from your dog who is always watching. Now we arrive at the most unsettling ability, the one that makes people question whether dogs see things beyond our physical reality. Many owners report dogs barking at empty rooms, growling at corners where nothing exists, refusing to enter certain spaces, or staring into darkness with intense focus. To us, it looks like they're reacting to ghosts. But are they? One explanation is that dogs detect subtle environmental cues we miss, infrasound vibrations from pipes or electrical systems, air currents creating drafts we can't feel, lingering scents from animals or people who were there hours ago. Their senses are so sharp that what appears paranormal might just be normal sensory processing of information invisible to our inferior detection. But here's what keeps people awake. Sometimes the way a dog stares into empty space, body tense, hackles raised, backing away slowly from nothing we see, it feels like more than enhanced senses. Whether it's explainable by science or touches something beyond current knowledge, one thing is certain. When your dog acts spooked by something you can't detect, they're sensing something real to them. Their fear is genuine. Their reaction is appropriate to whatever they're experiencing. Maybe they're hearing frequencies you can't access. Maybe they're seeing UV patterns or detecting electromagnetic changes. Or maybe they're perceiving something that exists in a space between what we know and what we can't explain. So there you have it. 14 ways your dog experiences reality that you never will. Every strange behavior, every bizarre reaction, every moment your dog seemed to respond to nothing, it all makes sense now. They're not crazy or paranormal. They're operating with sensory equipment so far beyond yours that your world and their world barely overlap. Next time your dog stares at an empty corner, remember they're seeing UV patterns you can't perceive. When they bark at silence, they're hearing frequencies beyond your range. When they refuse to walk somewhere, they might be sensing environmental dangers your body can't detect. Your dog isn't living in your world. You're both living in the same physical space, but they're experiencing a version of reality so much richer and more complex than yours. And the most important thing to remember, when your dog tries to tell you something through their behavior, listen. They're receiving information you can't access. They're reading the world through senses you don't possess. They know things about your environment, your health, and approaching dangers that you're completely blind to. Trust your dog's senses, even when you can't understand what they're reacting to.